Alright, I'm back with another Destiny 2 video, and I don't really do this as much these days, but I did want to do kind of an expanded audio version of an article I just published earlier, which is an exploration of the potential of exotics in the Arc 3.0 era. Obviously, we do not have any fixed Arc 3.0 information yet, other than it is quote-unquote about speed, and we got a preview of stuff with the synaptic spear that Kevin Yanas was talking about. I didn't go through every single exotic in my post, and I probably won't here, but the idea is that there are going to be a number of weapons and a number of exotics that seem like they might be kind of go-tos for, at least initial builds before we really figure some things out. And then, we will probably get maybe one or two new exotics that will feed into Arc 3.0. We haven't necessarily gotten weapons that have released alongside the same time. We maybe have gotten one. We got the raid exotic that is actually not very good for Void 3.0. And then for Solar, no, I guess we didn't get one for Solar that is like a dedicated one. They did update some of the other Solar weapons to interact. Not all of them, obviously, which I'll get into. And then usually you can get maybe one or two armor pieces that will interact for one or two of the classes. Kinetic, I couldn't really think of any kinetics that are going to be especially super relevant here, other than kind of just the general bonuses they give and the buffs that certain archetypes might be getting here. Obviously, something like Traveler's Chosen, you can recharge your arc abilities faster. Monte Carlo, build your, arc melee builds off that. But, I mean, you get the idea. So we are going to really be focused on the energy weapons here. There are a number of arcs in here, some of which are better than others. Cold Heart recently got a buff that is still not, amazing, but they kind of increased the damage ramp up speed and they made it generate ionic traces. I am wondering if ionic traces are going to be... Did they not even update the description? I figured they would have. Oh, there it is. Okay, they did. I'm wondering if ionic traces might be kind of a core mechanic in Arc 3.0, given that is part of the Warlock kit, and then they just gave it to Cold Heart. And the focus on speed might also be something that is focused on getting supers faster, getting cooldowns reduced faster. So if there is some sort of if you pick up an ionic trace, do this sort of fragment that could interact with Cold Heart, but I'm not sure. Next, all right, heavy hitter, Risk Runner. Risk Runner has always been fantastic. I've been using Risk Runner in many a mob clearing activity, raid or dungeon or nightfall or whatever for a very long time now because of both the chain lightning but also the damage protection you get from Arc Conductor. We are wondering if this is going to be in Sunshot territory, where everyone was like, oh, Sunshot's going to be an amazing, Arc or Solar 3.0 weapon, except they didn't make the explosions deal scorch damage or cause ignitions or anything like that. They did not make this interact with Solar 3.0 in any way. Maybe because it was too strong, maybe because they couldn't balance it, but I have a feeling this could happen with Risk Runner and one of the other selections here, Trinity Ghoul, where both of these are chain lightning exotics that are already extremely strong, some of the best mob clearing in the game at baseline. So to make them interact with other Arc 3.0 things, where if you chain lightning, X thing happens, or increase your chain lightning by 4 chains, or whatever it could be. I wonder if they will cause these not to interact because it would be too unbalanced, because we did see that with Solar 3.0. That said, these are definitely going to be two of the things I am equipping on day one just to kind of check it out. What else is... I kind of forget everything until I hover over it. Not a lot else on this page. Divinity, okay, I mean, Divinity is going to be Divinity. I doubt this will get anything significant from Arc 3.0. Symmetry is a fan favorite, but I doubt this just doesn't seem like something that is probably going to interact with Arc 3.0 in any specific way. Cloudstrike does have the lightning kind of crash thing, like Thunderlord does. It is a similar mechanic of a Thunder Strike. I do wonder if a Thunder Strike, a single bolt of lightning that does either AoE or increased damage, could be one of the mechanics, considering 2 weapons already have that, but I guess we'll see. Fourth Horseman is just going to be very strong with arc boosts. It doesn't do anything arc specific though, obviously. And okay, so Edge of Concurrence, this is the... I have this. Why is this telling me I don't have this? I don't have this one. I just never made the Warlock one because I'm like, these aren't good. I'm not going to waste materials on these. This is the Hunter one. They buffed the Chain Lightning to do a lot more damage, or it's like a wave of lightning. I never use it, so I don't know. This could, if they do more work on the glaives, this could actually be okay, and that's something I'll keep an eye on. And then Trespasser is the arc one they added this season. You get a super burst based on the exotic perk here, but this is not really anything arc specific. It's just happens to be an arc weapon. I don't think this would have any big interactions. Power weapons, again, there was nothing really specific here other than like these weapons are arc and they will do increased arc damage if you're running like an arc well build or something. Wardcliff has always been alternating between being a top tier DPS option in the past. It's not really one now, but it's not impossible to think that could have some benefits there. Worldline is not probably going to be meta. Queenbreaker needs a total overhaul. I can't believe it is still in the slot. Thunderlord is absolutely something I want to see if this could be get some boosts from Arc 3.0. It got the big machine gun buff over the last few seasons. It does a lightning strike from above. Again, I am wondering if that will be a inherent 3.0 mechanic, so I am watching that. Anarchy does electric damage over time and sticky grenade things. It used to obviously be like the craziest, DPS meta where you need an anarchy ticking at all times, but that got nerfed. We will see if it comes back into favor. And then here it's just Grand Overture, the new arc machine gun that is not really a machine gun in the traditional sense. It's kind of its own class of thing entirely. Heart Shadow's not arc, now it's void. So I again, this doesn't seem like this would do something to interact with arc. However, I do wonder if something like this has missile explosions will blind combatants. Those defeated by missile impacts then explode. I wonder if either of those things could potentially be relating to Arc 3.0, given that this was just added, and this, could end up being something, but it's something I'm going to watch. It's not something I'm really going to bank on. The more interesting things are probably exotic armor. I'll just start with Warlock, because I'm on Warlock. Crown of Tempest. This has always been a good Stormtrance exotic, but now the arc ability kills increase the recharge rate of your arc abilities. That seems like that could be very useful for Arc 3.0 infused abilities, in addition to extending Stormtrance. I have to believe that all Stormtrances are going to be combined into one thing, so this could be like a landfall, teleporting, super chain lightning version of Stormtrance, which would be really interesting and potentially powerful. There's like just general exotics that will obviously work with Arc, but I'm trying to focus on the Arc specific ones, like, where is it? Getaway Artist. This is making your little Arc Buddy. I assume Arc Buddy will still be a part of the Warlock kit, and that could get some benefits from certain grenade boosts or whatever. That I think that counts as grenade damage when the Arc Buddy moves, so I'm interested to see how that goes. We also have... Did I miss one? I feel like I missed one. No, I guess not. Okay, Vesper of Radius. This creates an Arc Shockwave. It's literally just an arc shockwave. It does not do anything besides be a shockwave. Like, the fact that it's arc damage does not really matter, except I am wondering if this is something that would be nominated for a potential rework or a potential buff, given that, this is a very, very not used exotic, and it seems like if there was ever a time to buff it, it would be now. I'll have a few of these in here. And Stormdancer's Brace. This is the one that gives you higher damage with Stormtrance, like the more enemies you kill, and then it refunds super energy. Could be useful, I guess. Do I have this? Oh yeah, I have. This is at least a cool looking ornament, but I feel like Crown of Tempest would be my go-to instead of this, but I guess it depends on if anything happens to it. Stuff like Mantle Battle Harmony is good on any elemental focused build, so that's one of those kind of general ones. Geomags, this is one of my all-time favorite exotics. I am still sad about the nerf where you can no longer get the last little bit of it filled up because they nerfed that for PvP, which is deeply irritating. Still, this Chaos Reach with extended duration does really, really big damage, and I have always loved running Geomags. I think that is all for Warlock. That is especially relevant. Titan, we don't know what's going to happen with Titan arc melees. They already have two. They have the air slam and the charge slam. They might not get a arc projectile, even though that is like the thing now, where they have a throwing hammer and a throwing shields. So if they do, that would be really interesting, because that could potentially refund your melee thing on every melee kill without having to charge. So that's certainly something I'm going to keep an eye on. Eternal Warrior gets my nomination for one of the worst exotics in the entire game. Also one of the worst ornaments in the entire game. Gain an overshield while activating Fist of Havoc. Deeply, deeply terrible. Like this needs several buffs to be relevant, and I put that in Vesper Radius category, where if it's ever time to buff an arc exotic like that, it's now. I didn't mention this in my article, but I do wonder if this could get some sort of arc tie-in, because this seems like something that could potentially be, changed to, this is dedicated arc damage. It interacts with Arc 3.0 in this specific way, but we will see if anything happens there. All of these other arms, none of these are, so there are 3 Void arms: Doomfang, No Backup Plans, Second Chance. Those are all Void related. And Ursa's Void related too, so Void really has the overkill on arms there. There's Solar, Worm God, and Stronghold are general. Icefall is stasis, Synthoceps is general. Obviously we can use Synthoceps with any build. In terms of chess, this is what I used for all of Void 3.0, just to get my ability spam on. I may use that again here. This is not Void specific, obviously, but it is a great, great exotic all the same. Curious is the super damage for the Superman Slam. I never actually... Thunder Crash, is that what it's called? Oh yeah, it says right there. Duh. This is, a big damage exotic that if you want that to be your dedicated one, you can, but I don't know if it's the most relevant thing. As I was going through this, I realized I forgot to ever get Hoarfrost last season, so I hear it's changing over to chest later today, so I will try and get that. I hope I haven't lost the ability to get a fill-in-the-blank exotic because it's not that season anymore. Not sure if that's how that works or not. Dune Marchers, again, didn't mention this in my article, but static charge. Is this static? Is that arc? It looks like arc. It sounds like arc. So this seems to be something that I feel like they could probably make into an Arc 3.0 exotic if they wanted to. Obviously, this has been deeply annoying in PvP for a while, and it was doing crazy chains for a while there. That is it for Titan. And then Hunter, we have one helmet, Blight Ranger, which was disabled pretty much all last season. Looks extremely cool. Still don't think it's very good. Obviously, like the other ones, I think Arc Strider is going to get one combined version of Arc Strider, where the ability to spin the staff and reflect things will probably be an intrinsic ability. This one makes spin things deal buffed damage, and you generate orbs of power. Outside of really select situations and then some PvP shenanigans, this is not very good. So I think that needs some work still. Shinobu's, this was a popular pick in PvP for a while, given the sheer amount of grenade spam you could do with it. This does seem like it could potentially be somewhat similar to Young Ahamkara's Spine, where it's a good grenade arms that recharge the grenade on hit, improve skip grenade, and then who knows how this will interact with Arc 3.0 stuff. Does this have an ornament? It does. They're both bad. None of these are good ornaments. This one's a little better, I guess, but I forgot they did get one a long time ago. Besides that, Liar's Handshake. This is an interesting one. So again, going with the idea that maybe we are going to get a projectile arc melee attack for Hunter instead of their weird punches. That would be very interesting because, the ability here is using your arc melee will let you follow up with a powerful melee counterpunch that will heal you. So that could have some interesting interaction if Hunter's 3.0 arc melees are changed. So I'm going to definitely keep an eye on that one and not forget about that. Aether's, no, Raiden Flux. Okay. I remember for like 2 seconds this was meta once upon a time because of just the sheer amount of stagger you could put on bosses. This would require Arc Strider damage to be buffed pretty significantly. It's already been buffed at least once, I think, but obviously that is still not like the DPS meta, and it does not even work against a number of floating bosses, really. So there would have to be some kind of significant changes, I think, to make this relevant. I still think that Hunters are going to be getting an entirely new super because Titan and Warlock have one, and it does not really make sense to only give them Arc Strider. Lucky Raspberry is just essentially a different form of Shinobu's, kind of. It increases Arc Bolt Grenade chaining, and then a full chain recharges the grenade completely. Could see this being 3.0 relevant depending on how good Arc Bolt Grenades end up feeling and what other perks are there. This is one of the ugliest exotics in the game that does not have an ornament, cannot be saved by shaders, no matter what you do to it. So I am expecting, if that is meta, people will complain that there are no shaders for it. Besides that, we have Raijus. This is a weird exotic that I really don't think I've ever seen anyone use in any meaningful capacity. Deactivate Whirlwind Guard early. Guarding does not consume extra super energy. I feel like this is how that skill should work at baseline practically to a certain extent. I mean, maybe not like infinite, but again, this is one that really needs some huge Arc Strider buffs to be worth it, or this needs some buffs in and of itself, because I don't think it's very good right now. Besides this is all... None of these are actually Arc specific. I mean, Frosties could use some love and an ornament also, so they stop looking like this. This is very deeply bad. Star Eater, I mean, make your super stronger. That can apply to anything. We will see if Hunter's super changes. But yeah, so those are kind of the ones to keep an eye on. And I'm really looking forward to this because, pretty much when they do a new 3.0 element, that's all you use for that season. So I'm curious what they are going to come up with, and then going forward, which of these will kind of end up being my favorite. What this reminds me, the best arc weapon probably in the whole game going into next season, barring any nerfs, is going to be this Storm Chaser, which will get additional buffs from if you have an arc elemental build, increasing arc weapon damage. This is the best DPS heavy in the game in almost all circumstances, and then we are heading into an arc season as well. So definitely pick up one of those from the dungeon if you haven't. So those are my kind of initial thoughts here, and I am curious to see what you guys are going to be trying out at launch here. I hope they give us a kind of more detailed explanation about Arc 3.0 ahead of release, as opposed to just dropping it on us and letting us figure it out like Solar. I really like them kind of going into detail ahead of time. Some stuff keeping a secret, like story elements, sure, that's fine, I get that, but I would like to see an Arc 3.0 preview. So anyway, those are my thoughts. Thank you for watching, and I will talk to you soon. Take care.